Howdy folks, Marvin Forte here, your KFNW Director. Welcome to the KFNW Current. This is episode 11. My guest tonight is my buddy Matthew Burdick, Tournament Director. And we're going to talk about the opens that happened this past Saturday, and we're going to do a little primer for Tenmile. With that said, let me go ahead and bring Matt on board. There he is. Matt
Hey,
Burdick.
good evening, everyone.
Red in the flesh. Soulless Ginger.
Yeah,
All
I'm gonna put my
names he
name down
goes
as
by.
Soulless Ginger.
I'm surprised you didn't. It's good to see you, buddy.
It's good to see you too.
Thanks for joining me. So like I said, tonight we'll talk about the spring opens. Both Matt and I were at the Oregon one, the Dorena Lake one. And we'll talk about Tour Event 2 at Tenmile Lakes coming up on the 30th. I don't have much in the way of news this time. Some of you, I think I might have mentioned, I did a little interview with Kayak Angler Magazine about KFNW. They're going to do a little write-up about us. I think they're doing it about multiple tournament series, and we're one of them. But I talked to one of the writers there and gave him some info and gave him some photos. And he contacted me today with sort of the write-up for me to look it over and see if there was anything that needed to be changed. But it's good. It's a nice little one. Kind of goes over the basics of what kind of events we have, for people who might be interested in checking it out. So that'll be cool to see how it goes. So let's talk about the summer opens. So we had 3 summer opens that I'm saying summer opens because I'm looking ahead at the summer opens to talk about those too. Spring opens. We did 3 spring opens this past Saturday. Dorena Lake in Oregon, Fernan Lake in Idaho, northern Idaho, Coeur d'Alene area, and Alder Lake up in western Washington near Mount Rainier. We had Brownlee Reservoir scheduled, but we only had a couple of anglers signed up, so we had to cancel that one, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll get better signups for the summer opens when those are coming up. These events were pretty successful. The Oregon one in particular, we had 28 people show up, so it was good. We had 14 teams out there. Ours weighed a little bit heavy on the more experienced side, right? We didn't have quite as many rookies. Wow, that was strange. Did you hear that?
I didn't hear anything, so
Or maybe that's your mic. When your mic's opening up, it's like white noise. So that was the case in all 3 of them. The Washington one at Alder Lake was basically all people who fish all of our events. There was one newbie, I think, and Fernan was a little better. Fernan had a handful of newbies, but quite a few experienced people too. Matt's leaving. He must be fixing whatever the technical difficulty is. So I would like to kind of go over those events. Let me switch to the web page view. Get the web page up. There we go. Now let's switch the view. And here we go. So here's Alder Lake. This is the Western Washington event. If we scroll down, here's our teams. You can see who won. David Curtin's team was Will Raymond and David Curtin. John Leonard's team was, or Joe Leonard. I spelled his name wrong, I see. John Leonard was Chris Williams and John Leonard. They came in second. Joel Briones and his wife Elizabeth came in third. And then Sean Soule with Jason Brent, who was a newbie, and Brandon Henning was paired up with Jonathan Bush. And Jonathan caught the big fish of the tournament, an 18 3/4 inch largemouth. Let's take a look at that. Not bad. Not bad at all. Looks a little like
their fish definitely look like they're pre-spawn.
Yeah, theirs don't look as blown out as some of ours. We'll talk about that on some of the Dorena fish. But
Yeah, some of the Dorena fish were pretty tore up.
yeah. Chris Williams was the top scoring individual, which isn't a huge surprise. He's a hammer. He had 50 inches. Let's take a look at some of his fish here. That may be post-spawn. Yeah.
I'm just looking at those tails, and they are not beat up at all.
Yeah, they're not really, and that's usually a giveaway. So the one thing that did happen with all three events is the fishing was tough. The conditions were pretty good, but I think certainly at Dorena, it felt like there was a post-spawn thing going on where the fish just weren't interested. And usually at Dorena, if the largemouth aren't biting, I'll just quit trying to catch largemouth and I'll go after smallmouth, and I can usually find those even if they're not as big. But even the smallmouth were tough to come by. I landed one fish and lost one that would have measured. The one that I landed didn't measure. It was too small. But you can see here we had 10 anglers and 20 fish. So I think this was the best fish to angler ratio that we had at all three events. 2 fish per angler on average. So yeah, it was tough conditions. Let's take a look at some of the others. So here's Dorena Lake that we were just talking about. We can see Cody Allison's team came in first. It's kind of a neat story with Cody because he had a rookie on his team, Quentin Willett, and Cody won the Spring Open. We called it the Season Kickoff Open back then. Back in 2019 when we did it at Henry Hagg Lake, and it was cold. You remember it hailed on us?
Oh, that was such a horrible event. Yeah. Rain, wind, hail. Oh, that was a miserable. We've had miserable opens at Dorena too. It was a couple of years ago. You looked at the mountains and they're all snow-capped and cold.
I think moving it from April to May was the smartest thing. You know, we always try to make it that first event of the season, but the first event of the season is always going to be risky as far as weather. So I think putting it in May is much more solid.
Yeah, even if the fishing was horrible, we weren't freezing our butts off. So that's a plus.
That's right.
We had excellent weather.
Yeah, and we were at Hagg. And so that year in 2019, Cody got paired up with Kegan Pankratz. And in that event, we talked about the bad numbers in these events Saturday. In that event, there were 3 fish caught, I believe was the total. Cody had 2 fish. Kegan had 1 fish. So they were the only team that caught any fish. And clearly they won the event. Cody was the top scorer for that event. And then, of course, Cody went on to be Angler of the Year a couple years in a row and win a lot of events and just do really well. So it was kind of cool. And I'm kind of wondering if we're going to see the same thing from Quentin Willett, because Quentin came out there against a bunch of anglers. We only had 4 anglers with a full bag of 3, and Quentin was one of them. He came in 3rd overall, beating the rest of us. And you see there's a bunch of zeros down here. Yeah, it was a tough day. So yeah, I hope Quentin comes back out and fishes with us some more. I'd like to see if he can continue that trend. And it was cool seeing Alana Larson in there with a full bag. She beat Andrew, her husband, who came in 7th. He only had 2. So, you know, those of us who fish this event kind of understand the format and know what's going on. But, you know, one thing we do with this is we kind of set aside a lot of the rules about assistance. Usually you can't, Brandon Hua says howdy. Usually you can't help anybody else that's fishing the event. Well, for this event, we say, whatever, you can help them. You can get up right alongside them, help them take their pictures, help them get the fish landed, help them get good photos. So we have some excellent evidence of this. If we look at Elena's fish, you see there's a little hand sneaking in over here on the right in that photo of hers. And then if we go to the second one, it's pretty hilarious. There comes Andrew's hand down here at the bottom, creeping into the photo to to offer assistance. You know, they're smallmouth she was catching, so they were wanting to flop off the board, and he was trying to make sure they stayed in the boat at least, if not on the board. And
The thing, his hand wasn't up farther, because if it actually started covering up that tail, we would have.
it could have
That
gotten
would have been
denied.
issues.
Yeah, that would have been denied. We're not going to let that go. But this is the only one that I don't see any trace of Andrew in her smallest fish. So
At least she's got her net up on the side, so if it does flop, it's.
she does. If it flops left, at least it'll be okay. And then Brandon caught the biggest fish of the day, a 19 3/4. And this is what we were just talking about, that bloody tail. And you see it's like that dark blood, so it's healing. It's not like a fresh wound. It's already getting better. So yeah, this fish is spawned out.
When was the full moon? The last full moon? That's one
That's
thing I
what
didn't look at.
that's what somebody at the dock was telling me. There was a bass boater there when we were getting off the water, and he was just getting on the water. And he said the spawn was really short, and it was right around the full moon. So it was like a week ago. We just missed it.
Yeah, so they're on that 2 week hiatus after they spawn, probably.
Yeah,
Would be
yeah,
my guess, because they really don't do anything for a couple weeks after they spawn.
yeah. Jacob Jarvis had a nice smallmouth there, 17 and a half. Jacob was our top individual angler with 49 and a half. Cody was our second. Quentin, that we talked about, was. Brian Mays had a couple of nice smallmouth. He had a couple of 19s that, unfortunately, the mouth was open on them, so he got dinged a little bit. But some nice markings on these fish, too. Yeah, big fish. You know, 2 big smallmouth that he caught. I was Brandon's teammate because we were short on rookies. So Brandon and I kind of teamed up, and you know, we weren't. I don't know. He seemed to be fishing pretty hard, even though he said he wasn't going to. I was for a little bit, but then I just was sort of moseying around, seeing what people were doing. But I didn't help him at all.
Well, I got my one
I didn't help
14 and a half inch fish, and you told me there was no way I was going to catch top water fish, and sure enough, I caught my top water fish first of the year.
No
I
way.
found a shady
No way is a
spot.
little strong, but yes, I did kind of poo-poo your top water plan.
Yep, well, I found a shady spot in a stump, and I watched that fish come up and hit it.
That's good, and it was
So
kind of a cloudy day. At least in the morning, it was. For the
it was
most part.
back in one of the coves where it was just there's no sun. So if
Yeah,
I see shade,
yeah.
I don't care if it's noon. I'll throw top water into it.
So Dorena had sort of the worst angler to fish ratio. We had 28 anglers and 33 fish. So one and a decimal, one and a fraction per angler, which is pretty low, especially for Dorena. Dorena's usually fishes well. And then let's talk about Fernan. 14 anglers, 21 fish. So, you know, not 66%, something like that. Yeah, not bad. A little better than the others, but still not great. Ryan Flores' team came in first. Gary Hansen and he did well. They had 94 inches. Jim Carey and Carlos Torres. Carlos moved up in that area, I believe. He's living up in the Spokane area, so he's not far from Coeur d'Alene. So I think you're going to see him more at those events. We used to see him down here in Oregon quite a bit because he was living in Vancouver. Sorry, I got to clear my throat. Go ahead and chat a second, Matt.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of. I wonder how their spawn was doing up there because they're obviously a little bit farther north. I don't know. I wouldn't mind to look at some of their fish just to kind of see if they were fishing pre-spawn or post-spawn. But I mean, considering they're up that far north, that actually seems like a pretty good day of fishing.
Yeah.
I don't know what their weather's been like lately.
Let's take a look. Daryl Green had our big bass of the day, 18 3/4.
Yeah, see, you're not seeing the marks like you were seeing on Brandon's fish and
You're
stuff.
not. That looks like a pretty
Pretty fat fish.
pretty chunky fish. Of course, that's a little
Look at the
guy.
fin on that thing.
Yeah, big giant tail fin. That's a big chunky fish, but again, that doesn't look post spawn necessarily. Gary had a couple 18 pluses. That's a fat fish. Yeah, these look
Yeah,
like
they
it's
look like pre-spawn.
spawn or pre-spawn even, maybe. All largemouth that they caught up there.
It's just our weather down here has been so weird. We went from cold to hot really quick.
Yeah.
So, and we stayed consistently hot. So I'm wondering if it just, because usually you'll see April, May, maybe a couple of fish will spawn in June. I'm wondering if it got hot and they said, nope, we're getting this over and done with real quick.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. They just, I think that mild winter definitely had an effect too. I think that it kind of threw off the timing from what the fish are usually doing. Let's see, what else do I have in my notes? Anything else about the spring opens?
No, it was good to see 28 anglers for Oregon. I was actually kind of shocked that we had that many.
It was good. It was good numbers.
So I was really happy with that. Glad to see the Oregon folks show up, and lots of new people too,
Absolutely.
which is always good to see.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump over and talk about Tenmile then. So, off limits started Saturday, so we're in the off limits now. I posted something about that today. So you won't be able to fish 10 Mile until the Saturday before the event, the weekend before the event. You'll be able to. Changing my view so I can see what you folks are seeing. I've got our little rundown here that we always do. So this one is a qualifier for the Kayak Bass Classic and the West Coast Championship. I know Hayden was a little bummed that he didn't qualify for the West Coast Championship when he won potholes, but this one, people can qualify for both. So last time we were at 10 Mile was April of last year. And our winner was Jacob Jarvis. He was a big bass.
That was 2024, so that's 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
It's really been
right?
2 years since. Yeah, because we fished Willamette and Columbia last year, didn't we? For Oregon.
We fished 10 Mile too. I think that date's wrong. I think this is 2025.
I don't know. All these tournaments are starting to blend together. I've done so many.
I can see it on the checks. This was 2025. There's just a typo there on the webpage. I'll fix that. Yeah.
Marvin's slacking.
Well, that's why Patrick Kelly's found a couple things I made a mistake on and pointed them out to me, and he said, "I hope it's not a problem." I'm like, "No, that's great. If you see a typo or something, let me know because I've obviously missed it." Trey Potts came in second, and Elijah O'Brien came in third.
That's such a cool lake to fish. I'm looking forward to going back there.
It's great. Hopefully the post spawn will be fully post by then, and fish should be back in action.
Yeah, I mean, usually it seems like on the Oregon down here, the coast kicks off first, and then the valley, and then you get over to like Eastern Oregon. They seem to be the last, so just because they're higher elevation, a little bit cooler. But the coast seems to kick off first.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's our off limits I was talking about. Ends on Friday, the 22nd. Your registration deadline is the same, Friday the 22nd. And then the practice period starts Saturday through Friday. You can fish 5:30 to 2:20. Is that right? 220 or 230? That may be another typo that I just found.
So what I don't like about these May and June events is sunrise comes way too early.
Amen. But yeah, I'll check.
Was a couple of years ago you guys did one of the lakes up in Washington. It was in June.
Oh yeah, Soyuz
It's
and
Soyuz.
those real far north lakes are Bellingham, Lake Whatcom up in Bellingham. Yeah,
Yeah, what was sunrise like 3:30 in the morning or
it's
something
crazy.
ridiculous?
It's crazy. We would have them do and that's when we were still doing a morning meeting. So the morning meeting would be at like 3:45 in the morning or something like that. It was kind of crazy. These evening meetings on the Friday before, I know it's a challenge sometimes for people to get there, but it really helps make things a lot more relaxed in the morning when you're trying to launch for the event than trying to do a meeting and then get to the launch. Of course, we still had to do that for Whatcom because we had to do inspections for everybody. So here's our times. I won't go through all that. It's on the page. So our pre-event briefing that I was just talking about, we'll do that same as last time. Let's see, I can pull up that map a little bigger. There you go. So it's the county ramp, which is sort of the main ramp at Tenmile. There's a lot of parking there, and it's a big ramp. We'll do it in that grassy area. There's sort of a little gazebo there. I'll check into that. I'll see if I can actually reserve the gazebo for us. And I think when we do that, they open it up where we can get in those bathrooms and stuff, which is handy. Oh, one thing while I've got the map up too. When you are launching from a trailer at 10 Mile, there is the beach over here. So you can stage down here at Wolfie Beach, just next to the ramp. But you'll want to back your trailers down and use the center, really, is the best one right here. And if you're on a cart and you're rolling your kayak down, then use these on the outside because they're not as good for a trailer. They're a little rougher and narrower.
If I remember correctly, that one on the far right is also it. You don't even want to back a trailer down to.
It's not
if I remember,
great.
it's kind of nasty.
It's not great.
So
Yeah.
so nobody's gonna get mad if you're hogging it up a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, obviously we want to get people staged and get them away from the ramp as quick as possible or tied to the docks. The docks go out quite a ways there, so it'll handle a lot of people. I think we're going to see a lot of people at this event. We had 80 at Potholes. I think we'll do at least that for 10 Mile and maybe even more, maybe 90, 95. I don't know. We'll have to see if people want to come out and do it. The West Coast Championship may make a difference too. People want to qualify for that and go down to Clear Lake. Pre-event details, we know all that.
Is there any kayak groups in Northern California that we can bug a little bit? See if maybe I can see some northern guys coming up.
Yakabass, it's still a bit of a haul. We occasionally have people come up and do it. We've had 2 or 3 different anglers from down there who've come up and fished our events now and then. So same as the last one that I went over that. If you click on the top left, right next to the purple M up there, if you click on that, it'll show you links that'll highlight the different ramps. So our ramps for this one, we've got Tenmile Lake County Park. That's the one we were just looking at. Or I'm sorry, Tenmile County Park is where the awards and the pre-event briefing are going to be. Tenmile County Park boat ramp is the ramp there that we were just looking at. And then there's Osprey Point. There's Wolfie Beach. You know, some of those are technically private. You're not really supposed to use them unless you're staying there. But they're so close to the county ramp that we don't really worry about it. If you're staying there and you're allowed to launch on Wolfie Beach, have at it. No problem. There's really not any advantage to doing it. And then the last one is up here, North Lake, the RV resort. So that's a small ramp. There is limited parking there. You will have to pay for parking up there. You got to pay for parking in all of these, but you do need to pay the owner of the North Lake RV Resort and Marina to park, and she's going to have sort of a designated parking area for the people who want to launch there. If you plan to fish the North Lake, it's convenient to do that because you avoid, this is 2 lakes, Tenmile, that are connected by this canal in the middle. And so if you want to fish the North Ramp, or the North Lake rather, then you want to use the North Ramp. It's going to be a little easier. But you'll want to be sure that you get there and give yourself time, be a little patient. If there's a lot of people there, it's going to take a little time to get people launched. And be respectful of the people that are camping, RV camping there. Don't make a lot of noise. Try and be pretty quiet in launching up there. Less of a problem at the county ramp. There's not anybody right there camping usually. So, but yeah, keep that in mind. Leo Harris and Andrew Janke helped me out again about talking to her up there to make sure everything was going to be cool. So I appreciate their help on that. Oregon fishing license, waterway access permit, all that stuff, all that information for the people that are, especially the Oregon folks kind of know what they need. The people that are traveling from one of the other states, make sure you read this section carefully and go to these links, and you can get the stuff that you need, your fishing license and your waterway access permit, which used to be the aquatic and I've been missing some comments here. I'm looking at too many things. We'll go to that in just a second.
And the nice thing is you can buy that all on the app too.
You can,
which is great.
Yeah, for Oregon,
it's kind of nice that Washington.
Yep, you can do it all.
It's nice that Washington's now doing it online too.
Yeah, they just started. Yeah, that is great. Let's see. These guys were chiming in on the stuff we were talking about, and I'm just like la la la. Let's see what these guys have to say.
Are they on Facebook or are they on YouTube?
They're on Facebook, so they're posting on Facebook, and so I can see it here. If you're in the Facebook page, you can post, and I'll see it, can share it. Ryan, our winner at Fernan, our winning team captain, said he loves the team event. Appreciate that, Ryan. Brandon said most of those fish spawn in April. So, yeah, I think he's talking about 10 Mile. So they'll be long done. Here's Greg Marshall. So he was helping us out to run the Brownlee event. And he had a campsite there for Friday. And so he went up and fished Friday, the day before when the event would have been. And our 3 other locations were having a tough time catching fish. Greg was not having a tough time catching fish at Brownlee. He said he got about 50 fish on Friday by himself. So it's too bad that one didn't happen. It would have crushed us. It would have been a challenge getting that all judged in time, maybe, but would have been a great event anyway. I appreciate you for being there, Greg, and sorry it didn't work out, but we'll get it next time. Ryan's telling us about Fernan here. We were speculating about it. There were a few on beds, but didn't seem too interested. So they were just pre-spawn or spawn. So that's why those fish looked a little healthier than some of the others. And Corey's saying the same thing. There were fish on beds, but they wouldn't bite. So they couldn't fish the bedding fish, or they weren't very successful at doing it. Sometimes they just get lockjaw. They don't want to do it. Or if they pick it up for a split second and put it right down.
Yeah, that was the other thing with Dorena. They were saying it came up like 6 feet in the last 2 weeks before the event. So, I mean, if you had fish in 5 feet of water, that were bedding. Now they're in 10 feet of water, 11 feet of water. So
it was high. It was some of the highest water I think I've seen. You and I were talking about it when we were on the water. We did an event there the first time I ever fished Dorena in 2018, when Aaron Roberts was still running OKBF. We fished that event, and the water was really high that year too. It was very similar to what we saw on Saturday. The grass was, there was water up in all the grass. You could really get in there.
yeah, and I was reading online that the Marine Corps or whoever's in charge of the dams and stuff, they actually changed the way they're filling the reservoirs this year. They're filling them a little bit sooner than they are later, because usually they don't fill them until May, June. They're starting to fill them a little like a month or two sooner. So, which I don't know, it's probably a good thing. Hopefully they'll hold more water over the summer, because Dorena come July, August is like it's sometimes you can't even really launch.
It's super low. Yeah. Yeah, I've gone late in the year, and you have too, and sometimes it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah, I've gone there and fished in like February, March, when there's actually a second parking lot almost down below. So
yeah, you told me you saw that and you'd never seen it before. Or Brandon was telling me that he saw it and he'd never seen it before until the water was so low that he could get down there to it. So yeah, Tenmile. What did I leave out? Tenmile is known as the best largemouth lake in Oregon. It has that reputation, and I think that's pretty true. It's shallow for the most part. It's really weedy. There's a lot of cover. You got willows, you got laydowns, a lot of wood laydowns. Lily pads should be totally gangbusters by that time. There's a lot of grass and tules or, reeds. So there's a lot of different stuff to fish. In fact, that's one of the problems with the lake, with some of those lakes down there, is there's so much stuff that looks great. It's like, okay, well, what do I cast to?
yeah, there's a lot of docks too if you want to fish docks.
And docks.
You can find some spots, you can find a little bit of rock here and there. It has a little bit of everything.
Yeah, there's a little rock, not a ton, but
Not a ton, but
you're right. And then the thing is, if you do want to go down there during the off limits, there's lots of other lakes down there that you can fish, and they're going to fish very similarly to 10 Mile. You can fish Eel Lake, which is right next to 10 Mile. You can fish Siltcoos, Taconich, Mercer, Munsell, Sutton, all those Florence area, from Florence down to 10 Mile, to Reedsport, and down further to 10 Mile. There's a bunch of great lakes on there. It's some of the best bass fishing we have in the Northwest, in my opinion.
yeah, there's like 10, 15 lakes down there you can fish. You go from like itty bitty to Taconich, which is absolutely massive.
Yeah.
So
Taconich is huge. 2 tiny little launches without much parking. That's why we don't do big tour events there. We just can't. We can't do it. There's plenty of water for everybody, but there's just not enough launch space. I'd love to do it. I'd love to do a tour event down there, but unless we come up with something really creative, I don't see how we can.
yeah, even if we rented the whole campground, we're not fitting 80 vehicles in there.
No.
No way.
I've thought about that. I've thought about like trying to take over the campground, book the whole thing. But yeah, you're right. I mean, we'd get, I don't know, I'd have to count it. Maybe we'd get 40 or 50 people if we took over the campground. And then at the other launch, there's like maybe a dozen parking spaces or something like that.
Yeah, how many campsites are there? Like 20?
Something
I mean,
like
double
that.
or triple.
That's what I
Double or
mean.
triple.
Like, maybe we could get 40 or 50 people if we had, 2 or 3 people in each campsite. But yeah, I don't think we could do it.
Line them up the highway. Just park them in the ditch. It's fine.
Just roll the kayaks down the road. I think that's about it. That's about all I've got for 10 Mile. Anything else I didn't think of that we want to talk about with 10 Mile?
You guys gonna go do karaoke Friday night and win the tournament?
Hey,
I mean, you won't see me singing. I can't sing. I can't dance. I can only fish.
it
So
It wasn't quite as foolproof last year when we went there. Jacob did sing something, right? I think Jacob did, and he ended up winning. But I know Trey and Elijah did not sing.
Yeah, come Friday night, I guarantee there's going to be a bunch of people there, drinking, some karaoke, have fun.
Pizza and beer and karaoke, can't go wrong. But yeah, I'll be there. I'll belt out a tune or two again. I usually do. So yeah, should be good times. It's always a fun event. It's a neat facility there. If you're camping at the county park, they've got showers and bathrooms and everything right there. It's kind of exposed. You're just kind of out in the open air. There's not a lot of trees there around the county park, but you're right next to the launch, so it's super convenient. And you're right next to the pizza pub, so you got food if you want it there. And Lakeside's not far, and there's some more restaurants and grocery store and everything, half a mile away, quarter mile away, something like that. So yeah, it's a good facility. And then a lot of people, of course, have Airbnbs or VRBOs around the lake as well. That's where a number of people will be staying. And then we've got some anglers who live not too far away from there too that I'm sure they're just going to be staying at home. So that's cool. Should be a great event. I'm excited for it.
I'm always looking forward to Tenmile. It's just such a pretty fun lake.
It's
if you can find a pattern, you can go out there and go catch 30, 40, 50 largemouth if you can figure out a pattern. They may not be huge, but you can go out there and just pound the bank and just smash fish all day long.
I seem to either do great at 10 Mile or terrible at 10 Mile. Nothing in between. And I think it's like you said, if you can just figure it out, if you can figure out where they are and what they're doing, you can make something happen.
Yeah, last time we fished, I couldn't figure anything out. And then all of a sudden, like 3 or 4 fish just back to back in like 10, 15 minutes, if that. Tiny little spot. I think I hammered out a limit or something, but it wasn't real good.
That's great.
So,
well, and your topwater bite will probably be picking up a little by then.
Yeah, flop or bust, or I'm gonna go take a nap. Although the last couple of years I haven't been napping much, it's go back to the Airbnb and start judging. So
that's true. That is true.
Because I much rather get off the water at like 10, 11 o'clock and start judging than get off right at lines out.
Yeah. And
then go have to judge 300-400 fish because you're not going to get it done in half an hour, 45 minutes.
Predictions? What do you think's going to win it?
What won it last time? It was like over 90 inches, wasn't it?
Let's go back and take a look here. It's right at the top.
Let's go see the results.
There it is right there.
I mean,
Jacob 94. Had 94 3/4. That's a damn good day.
Yeah, I was guessing over 90.
Brandon says 92. 92 to win. That's pretty safe.
Winner will have 92. Brandon will have 91.5.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet. It'll be somewhere in that range. One more thing about this event that I almost forgot to mention, but I didn't. We are also double dipping with the Native Watercraft No Limit Big Bass Power Hour National Online Tournament. So this is a nationwide tournament. There are 4 events on TourneyX, one for each time zone. So you sign up for the time zone that's listed there. It gets a little tricky because like with Idaho, we've got 2 time zones. So it had to be in one of the 2. And if it's going to be in outside of their time zone, it's usually going to be in the more western one. So the folks in southern Idaho that are usually in mountain time, they're going to sign up for the Pacific time zone. And they'll just need to fish an hour later. They'll look at the times on the schedule and they'll add an hour for all their times that they're fishing, their launch time and everything like that. and their fish they'll be in an hour later. Arizona's sort of the same thing. Arizona doesn't do daylight savings time, so basically this time of year they're the same as us, as California and Oregon and Washington. So they're in the Pacific time zone Tourney X event as well. There's no kayak giveaway for this one, but the payouts are pretty excellent because last year we had about 200 anglers that fished this event. And, one of the things I bump into online with this event is people saying, oh, it's not worth it. It's unfair. I don't have a chance against Florida and California and Texas and Arizona. And with the largemouth bass, there's some truth to that, although KFNW angler Darren Roberts last year was a quarter inch. He was just a quarter inch shy of winning one of the power hours fishing in the Columbia River. So that's pretty darn close. And there were a few others that were really close. So for the power hour, I get it. It's a little harder in certain areas, like the Pacific Northwest, maybe, to win. But in the no limit competition, those other states don't have a shot. There's no way that Florida and maybe some places in Texas. I don't think so though. Arizona, California, they're not going to be able to touch what some of the other areas are doing with the no limit. The winner last year was from Michigan, I believe, and we had people up in the Finger Lakes in New York that were putting up huge limits. People from all over the country, Colorado, Oregon / Washington, Tom Millsap, he cashed a check for the no limit. And people in Colorado, people in Utah, there were a couple guys in Utah who just lit it up. They really made a run at the no limit. But that guy up in Michigan, it was just kind of crazy.
And they were all chasing the smallmouth.
And most of those people were fishing smallmouth. Yeah, that's the key. Like smallmouth for the no limit are usually going to be a better bet. You're not going to catch loads and loads of largemouth usually.
You can, in a big school of smallmouth, you could sit there and hammer them all day long. They tend to bite a lot longer than the largies do.
Yeah. Well, it's just like Michael Mumford at the native event that we just did at Potholes, right? He lit it up because he was just focused. All his fish were between 14 and 15 and a half. He didn't have anything bigger than that. But he won the no limit. He crushed everybody else in the no limit. Yeah, it can be done. It definitely can be done. So, if you're coming down to fish 10 Mile, by all means, sign up. You may win a power hour down at 10 Mile. I'd say you've got a shot. If especially those middle of the day times, like the third through the third, fourth, and fifth hour, can be iffy. We've seen 17-inch fish win a power hour in some of the live events. I don't think you're going to see a 17 in the national, but we definitely saw some 20s last year, and I think that you could do that anywhere. You can do that on 10 Mile. Jacob's fish was a 20 3/4. That could have done it. Trey Potts had a 20 1/4. That could have done it. You definitely have a shot.
There's 10 Mile definitely has some, I want to say absolute monsters, but 20 plus inches is common on that lake.
It's not that unusual, and you've got a shot at winning the power hour with a 20 plus. If you're not going to fish 10 Mile, if it's too far, if you don't want to come down with gas prices the way they are, I get it. I totally get it. I'd love for you to come down and fish it, but I understand if you can't, or you can't get off work, whatever. Then fish locally. We've got. Let me pull that up. Actually, it's going to take me a second here.
Well, I think one great thing is that tournament is weekend after Memorial Day, or is it Labor Day? One of those two.
Memorial. Yeah, you're right.
Memorial. So I got a feeling a lot of people are going to the weekend before going to be out camping doing their thing. 3-day weekend. Usually the next weekend after is probably going to be pretty dead.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
so
Made that about as big as I can. So yeah, if you look at the Pacific time zone, you can see some of the areas that our anglers will be able to fish. You've got Lake Coeur d'Alene, Dvorak Reservoir. I mean, that's where I think it'd be awesome if somebody can get a smallmouth to win one of the power hours, and you could do it there. I mean, you could get a 22. Well, that has I mean, we have a lot of 22s, even in the national that won hours, fish in that range. So you could do it on Dvorak. I think you could do it with a smallmouth. CJ Strike. CJ Strike, sometimes you might have a shot at the no limit if you get into a bunch of 14-inch smallmouth. There's a bunch of them in there. And then in Oregon, you can do the Bonneville Pool of the Columbia River. Again, big smallmouth. That's where Tom Millsap, I'm kind of giving away secrets here, but he was fishing the Bonneville Pool. I'm not going to say where, but he was fishing the Bonneville Pool when he cashed a check last year. So you got a shot there. And then you got Tenmile Lake, of course. Washington, you got both Lake Umatilla and Lake Wallula. I've got them both opened up for Washington. So that's a bunch of river right there. A big chunk of the Columbia
love to see
River.
a Soyuz added to that list, and I'd love to see a couple anglers go fish that lake. Some really good anglers, because I've seen with the fish that come out of that lake, and
yeah,
you get a couple of good guys up there. I could see them smashing it pretty well.
If we don't get people signing up for TAPS and Roosevelt in Washington, and if we do this event again next year, which I presume we will, I might try that. I might throw a Soyuz in there just for fun, because there's some giants.
I know it's a bit of a drive for a lot of the Washington folks, but it might be worth the drive. I know they talk. I've never fished it, but I know they absolutely love it up there.
Yeah. Brandon said he was looking to fishing the Columbia for the national event. I get it. It'd be fun to do it, but he's going to be at 10 Mile clearly, going after that AOI. So yeah, I encourage everybody to sign up for either 10 Mile or one of the others if you want to do the native event. And certainly I encourage you to do the KFNW event at 10 Mile if you can swing it. I think you'll love it. It's a great lake to fish. With that, I don't know. Anything else you can think of, Matt?
Nothing I can really think of, so.
Okay. Well, you won't hear from us again on the Current until after 10 Mile, and I'll have same thing that we did after Potholes. I'll try and get the 3 podium winners and the big bass winner if it's a different person. I'll try and get them on the Current, and we'll do interviews with all of them. I think that was a lot of fun. That was one of the main reasons I wanted to start doing the Current, was so that we could have people on and talk about their day. You know, we talk about it a little right after the event, but I think it's cool to be able to do it like this. And Brandon brought some of his baits with him last time and was showing what he was using, which is...
Well, you guys definitely won't be seeing me on the next podcast, so...
Oh, you don't think so?
Worry about that.
Come on, man.
No.
You've done it before.
I've never done really all that great at 10 Mile, to be honest.
At 10 Mile, yeah. I did once. I got a third at 10 Mile once, but that was my best day.
I've done good at Silkus and Mercer.
Yeah, same. We both have done well at Silkus, and I've done okay at Mercer. Yeah, I've done pretty well at Mercer, but it's too, we don't fish it anymore. It's kind of too small. We did it for the Flying Kayak Open last year, but or year before last, I guess. Yeah, year before last. But that was just because Davis got canceled because of forest fires, so we didn't do it. But yeah, we'll do the Flying Kayak Open. I just put an event up for that today on Facebook to start spreading the word about that event. And I know the kayak angler. That's at Davis Lake.
Davis.
Yeah, right by Crane Prairie. So we'll do Crane Prairie on Saturday for the summer open, and then we'll do Davis Lake the next day. Sort of the same thing we've done every year with it until 2024 when we had to move it because of forest fires.
That's another really, really pretty lake is Crane Prairie.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it can fish really well. It's, nothing fishes great in August. It's kind of a tough time to fish, but
if you're going to fish a lake, either coast or Crane, because you are higher elevation, so it's not nearly as hot usually.
That's right. That's exactly why we usually do Crane in like August, because it's a little cooler up there than it is in the Willamette Valley.
I know a lot of people think that Central Oregon it's going to be absolutely cooking. It's not because of the elevation change.
Yeah.
So
it's not bad.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to be like 80, 90, but it won't be 100 plus.
Oh, it definitely won't be that high. And yeah, I think it's usually low 80s, something like that when we're there.
It usually gets pretty cool at night, which is awesome.
It does. Yeah. Yeah, we'll be camping there. It's a good event. And the Flying Kayak Open should be great. I'm looking for some good numbers for that one, hopefully. And I'm still looking for sponsors for that one. We are giving away a G. Loomis fly rod for that one, $550 fly rod. So that's a great prize.
As soon as you say G. Loomis and fly rod, it's going to be a pretty penny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're great rods. Fantastic.
I've got a couple of G. Loomises. They're hard to beat. They're just fantastic rods. I love that they're. I also love that they're a Pacific Northwest company too. They're just right up there in Washington. They're just right up the road from us.
Yeah, absolutely. I went over the sponsors on the last episode and talked about that. We've only really got 2 sponsors that are not Pacific Northwest companies, which is pretty impressive.
That's actually kind of cool. I do like supporting our local guys, so
totally.
Like NRS.
Well, with that, let's take a look at the sponsors, and we'll say goodnight to everybody. Scroll down to the bottom of the page here. Take a look at our sponsors. Oh, I got to go back to the home page. Here we go. Scroll down to the bottom, and we'll take a look here. We've got Snake River Manufacturing, of course. Let me make this just a little smaller. There we go. Over in Caldwell, Idaho, best trailers on the market. Steve Carroll does a fantastic job over there. Diamond Parking and Diamond Self-Storage. If you are in need of parking in most Northwest cities, look for the Diamond when you're looking for a place to park. And if you're looking for some self-storage in the Spokane area, look up Diamond Self-Storage. Native Watercraft, of course, long-term sponsor of ours now. And we will be giving away a Titan X 12.5 again this year for people who participate in, I think I've got it set up for if they're doing 3 events this year. For the native event. I think that's what we said. If you fish 3 or more tour events, you'll get an entry. Fish 4, you'll get 2 entries. 5, you'll get 3 entries. So that's pretty cool. Boggs. Boggs is a tour sponsor this year, along with Native Watercraft. And we do have Boggs samples. For those who are at Potholes, you got to see them. I've got some samples of some of their shoes and boots that are really geared for the kind of anglers that we have. I think if you take a look at them, you'll really like them. And we are giving away free pairs of those at each of our events this year. A gift certificate for you to pick what you want and get the size you want. Northwest Tackle, also in Caldwell, Idaho. Boggs are based here in Portland. Their offices are in Portland. They're sort of affiliated with a bigger company. Native Watercraft's in Fletcher, North Carolina. They're not a Northwest company. Northwest Tackle, Joe over at Northwest Tackle, great tackle store in Caldwell, Idaho. If you're looking for tackle, go see Joe. NRS in Moscow, Idaho. G. Loomis here in Washington State. Discount Tackle down in, where are they at? Wilsonville. Wilsonville, Oregon. Yak Attack, clearly not a Northwest company, but a fantastic sponsor and great gear that all of us use. Ego Fishing, they're in Meridian, I think. They're in Idaho. I can't remember the exact town, but somewhere up there. And Three Rivers Tackle, of course, in Tri-Cities. We all love Three Rivers Tackle, some of the most unique tackle offerings of anybody. Pacific
My
Yak
bank
Tank.
account doesn't love them.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
for sure.
Well,
My bank account cries every time I go in there.
it's great stuff. Yak Rods up in Coeur d'Alene, or Post Falls, I think. Willamette Weapon, Custom Lures, local here to the Portland area. RoboHawk, not a Northwest company, but great stuff nevertheless. PNW Bass Candy, of course, Northwest based there. They are going to, I'm glad I am reading through these because I meant to mention that. Those guys are going to be down at Tenmile. I think they're going to be there Friday and Saturday. So if you need any baits, pre-order and you can pick it up there. Or, just come and bring some money and you can buy some plastic, some jigs. Fantastic stuff, all of it. Those big swim baits they're doing now are cool. Have you seen those?
You've seen them. I've used their beaver baits. I really like those.
Yeah.
They've got some cool colors and they work really well.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. And then, of course, ZR Custom Tackle from Idaho. Kyle Zemke, great jigs, finesse jigs primarily, but also spinner baits and some bigger jigs as well. Just great stuff. Almost all of us use those in some form.
I've almost always got a little bugger tied on.
Yeah,
I burn through a lot of those a year, so
it's a classic. Well, I think that's about it. Those are our sponsors this year. If you're interested in being a sponsor or you know somebody that might want to be a sponsor, please put them in touch with me and we'll see if we can get something going. I'm wearing a hat that our friend Mark Middleton gave me in honor of Mark. He was hoping to fish some of the events this year. I'm not sure if we're going to see him, but I see him every now and then. We'll grab lunch or breakfast, and so I'm keeping up with him. But this is a great one: Squatch and Release. Sasquatch releasing a salmon up there, so it's a good Northwest hat. But thanks to Mark, we're thinking about you, buddy. And to everybody who joined us tonight, I appreciate it. I thank you so much, Matt Burdick, Soulless Ginger, Red, for being here with me. And I hope to see a bunch of you at 10 Mile. Please be safe on the water. See you next time. Good night.
have a good night.